The engines are armed. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have commit. We have liftoff.
Just before 7 a.m. Central, December 21st, 1968, Commander Frank Borman, Command Module Pilot Jim Lovell, and Lunar Module Pilot Bill Anders blasted off from the Kennedy Space Center.
The crew has been given a go for staging.
It was to be humanity's maiden voyage around the moon.
We hear you loud and clear, Apollo 8.
Okay, the first stage was very smooth, and this one is smoother.
And the first lunar journey on the Saturn V, developed by Dr. Wernher von Braun's rocket team at Huntsville's Marshall Space Flight Center.
Apollo 8 Houston, your trajectory and guidance are go, over.
The Saturn V, designed for the Apollo missions in the early 1960s to realize President Kennedy's decade-end goal.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
With just 374 days left in the decade to make that moonshot, there was angst and anticipation riding on this rocket.
It was controversial, and it was actually, controversial from top to bottom, is whether we should be taking the chance.
A previous uncrewed flight was fraught with problems, and now without a traditional successful test flight in between, NASA was going full throttle with people on this projectile heading around the moon.
So that is like, you're taking a chance now on the life of 3 astronauts in order to try to assure that we stay within the decade.
And Marshall engineers knew Murphy's Law all too well.
Nobody in the history of the universe had ever left this planet. Now, there's another guy called Murphy that didn't get involved with us here. And that's why I think this was a spiritual moment.
Alex McCool is the Saturn V engine man, responsible for the Braun.
This is risky business, and you got to take chances.
And Brooks Moore brought the brains.
You lose communication. And you don't know what's happening behind the moon. And the astronauts are there flying out of contact with the ground, you know.
Moore and McCool, together with 8,000 others at Marshall and 400,000 around the country, manufactured the largest, most powerful flying machine in the world, going to a place no one had ever been before, around the moon, to prove it could be done, setting the stage for the eventual moon landing.
Give us clues to what it looks like from way up there.
Roger. I can see the entire Earth now out of the center window.
When we heard you are go for translunar insertion, TLI, we looked at each other and says, what does TLI mean?
Apollo 8, you are go for TLI, over.
That means you're going beyond Earth orbit. When that third stage ignited, we had the word, we are going to the moon.
Roger, understand, we're go for TLI.
So many remarkable firsts on this flight, and the world got to witness it all live for the first time on TV.
This transmission is coming to you approximately halfway between the moon and the Earth.
Okay, Apollo 8, we have a good picture.
We're rolling around to a good view of the Earth.
These moon-bound men captured the amazing and brought us all with them on this adventure.
One of their major missions was taking photographs of the lunar surface, and it was almost inadvertent that they happened to reorient the spacecraft, and all of a sudden saw the Earth.
The Earth from here is a grand oasis of the big vastness of space.
That is one of the most significant things that throughout the whole space program.
And they brought the Bible and read from it Christmas Eve.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and divided the light from the darkness.
And if you're sitting there listening to that, and you're seeing the dry land and the oceans, and you could see them, it's got to make an impression. It made an impression on me.
Most favorite moment of the Apollo program?
Well, the special moment with Apollo 8, Liz, that to me in my heart, Christmas Eve, It'll be an emotional thing for me. I know it will, because things really worked out. I mean, it is. Apollo 8 was emotional. It really was. Now, no question, I don't take away from Apollo 11. That's what it was all about. But these are steps. We had to climb up these steps to get there.
Apollo 8 gave us a comfort level in the family to look forward and say, okay, we can go with a crew and we can go with a landing.
A monumental milestone for man, and at Christmas, 50 years later, memories that will never fade.
And from the crew of Apollo 8, we close with good night, good luck, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you on the good earth.